Ace hopes to shoot the Lobos to the semifinals. They face a veteran UNLV squad led by all-conference first-teamer Lanita Sanford. The 2012 Mountain West Women's Basketball Championship continues right now.
The 2012 Mountain West Conference postseason tournament is in full swing in Las Vegas. In earlier quarterfinal action today, top-seeded San Diego State outlasted Air Force while Wyoming drilled TCU to advance to the semifinals. Two more quarterfinal games on the docket at the Thomas and Mack Center, and getting tonight's action started, second-seeded UNLV taking on New Mexico. Good evening, everybody. I'm Ann Schatz, none other than the great Andrea Lloyd. All right, let's talk quarterfinals. We're going to start with the Lobos. Little inside, little outside, little Caroline Durbin, and a real tough Porche Torrance.
Yeah, and remember, this is a team that's been decimated by injuries, but they've had solid performances this year from Porche Torrance, third team All-Mountain West, but also the Defensive Player of the Year in the Mountain West. And Caroline Durbin, we heard it in the top of the show, she is an ace from the three-point line. She needs to shoot the ball well for them to be able to play well today against UNLV.
What a great turnaround for UNLV, and a huge reason, a healthy Lanita Sanford.
Yeah, you know, Lanita Sanford is such a terrific story, but I tell you what, as good as her story is, she is that good in the paint as well. A big body in the paint. She crashes the offensive boards. She is a dominator inside, loves to intimidate, and UNLV has a strong starting five. All five of them can get it done.
We've got a third member of our broadcast team, none other than Molly Sullivan. What do you have on UNLV, my friend?
Hey, Ann, I'm fired up to be back with you and Andy again this year. And while we've seen the UNLV men's program make some big-time noise throughout the past 4 years since Kathy Olivier has been back with her alma mater, KO and her staff at the same time have quietly been building something truly special. And at its core is their first recruit, senior Jamie Smith, who recently earned the coveted key to the 1,000,000 Club. And while there's a number of big-time banners and jerseys hanging from the rafters right now, one thing that the men in the scarlet and gray have never been able to do is reach that 1,000 points, 1,000 rebounds in their career. So score another one for the ladies, Ann.
Love that. Molly Sullivan. The Lady Rebels and Lobos looking to stamp their ticket to the tournament semifinals. Lineups, opening tip, just around the corner.
For UNLV.
The 2012 Mountain West Women's Basketball Championship.
For UNLV at guard, a 6-foot junior from Compton, California, number 45, Kelly Johnson. For New Mexico at guard, a 6-foot junior from Austin, Texas, number 24, Caroline Durbin. For UNLV at forward, a 6-foot senior from Hawaii, number 11, Jamie Smith. For the Lobos at guard, a 6-foot sophomore from Plano, Texas, number 35, January.
The 2012 Mountain West Women's Basketball Championship is brought to you by Ram Trucks. Guts, glory, Ram.
That's a beautiful shot, isn't it? But I'd rather be indoors. Thomas Mack Center, the place to be as quarterfinal action continues in the Mountain West tournament. The women, of course, taking center stage today. All right, the Lobos are going to come at you with a lot of skill. Nikki Nelson will lead the Lobo attack. Torrance, of course, locks down the defense. We told you that. Durbin's going to fill it up from beyond the arc. Yvonne Sanchez, no stranger to this tournament, but this is her first stint as head coach of the Lobos, and you know she will have her kids ready. All right, on the other side of the docket, the favored UNLV Lady Rebels. They'll go big, and they will get after the boards with Suku, Sanford, Smith, all pounding things. Thompson, a great score. Mia Bell makes this team go. Kathy Olivier, in her 4th year with UNLV, of course, she graduated from this fine school, and this is her most successful year in her 4 years. Andrea, I mean, 2nd place finish, that's pretty darn good for this UNLV club. Complete turnaround from last year.
Well, she's had a lot of continuity with her players this season. A tremendous starting 5, goes 7 deep, and like you said, they have some talent as far as big bodies in the paint. They have a Jamie Smith at the 3 position that can play inside and outside. A tough matchup for anybody.
UNLV, the higher seed in their home whites. New Mexico countering in their road reds, and Nelson rips the triple.
Yeah, and for that, it's a great start right there for Nikki Nelson at the point guard position. She's not known for her scoring, but if she plays well today, that's going to add another element to the Lobo offense.
Well, and know this about Nelson. Most of her field goals are from beyond the arc, so you better close out. Early Lobo lead. UNLV beat this club 2 times in regular season play. They, of course, want to make it the trifecta in the game that really matters. Thompson, tough finish.
Yeah, nice job by UNLV spreading the court right there. And Kelly Thompson, we talked about the starting 5 being strong. She's one of the reasons. She's their leading scorer, extremely talented at the offensive end.
Quarterfinal action here at the Thomas & Mack Center. Earlier today, San Diego State, Wyoming advancing with quarterfinal wins. That was matinee stuff. 6 seconds for Nelson. Sanford tag teams her, and there's a walk. Good D by the Lady Rebs. Andrew, we mentioned the fact that in the regular season, it was this UNLV bunch defeating the Lobos twice.
Yeah, both times UNLV able to really keep New Mexico low on the scoreboard. Just remember that first time around, Lonita Sanford didn't play in the game. Some injuries for UNLV, but the team that's really been decimated this year by injuries is New Mexico.
Well, you're not kidding. I mean, before the season, during the season, Sanchez has had to do patchwork kind of efforts as Thompson is wild on the triple. But Sanchez just has that way, doesn't she, of keeping her troops in things and believing.
Well, it's her first year as head coach, but she is extremely positive. Coached with the great Don Flanagan for so many years.
Durbin like that. Off rim or back rim and off, and Smith will call her name a lot when it comes to rebounding.
What's so interesting about Jamie Smith is she averages over 8 rebounds a game, but she shoots the 3 50% of the time. So an inside player that can knock it down from outside. Turnover there by Mia Bell. Well, let's look at those shoulder braces right there on Chinyere Naiji.
Yeah, tell us about that.
Yeah, she's been out of practice here for the last week and struggled with injuries and has a couple of torn ligaments, muscles that she's going to have surgery on, but wearing 2 braces, 1 on each shoulder, number 35 in red.
Lob, a little bit too much air on that one. Turnover goes against the Lobos, and this is a New Mexico team that coughs it up about 17 times a game, and to me, Andrea, it's going to be critical for them to take care of the rock.
Yeah, absolutely. They have to make sure they limit their turnovers, and if they're going to have turnovers, have them like that, where the ball goes out of bounds, doesn't lead to a transition basket for UNLV.
I love the way you keep track of that stuff, because boy, that matters. It's like a block shot. Keep it in place so you can go the other way. She likes it from there. That's Jamie Smith rimming off. Good block-out defense on Moss by New Mexico, and they'll try to build on that lead real early. Nelson with the ball.
Yeah, both of these teams very defensive-minded, very strategic, I think, out there on the floor. UNLV might be a team that sometimes makes mistakes defensively. So you see a nice drive to the hoop by Caroline Durbin. But they focus on that a great deal and take a great deal of pride in their defense.
Thompson, catch and shoot, rims off. Good board by Torrance.
A little bit of a slow start here shooting-wise for UNLV. In the last game that they played against New Mexico, they had 5 made field goals in the first 17 minutes and struggled to score early. Just keep your eye on that.
I like the looks from both teams, Andrea. Neither club being able to get the hot hand. Wild shot that time by Nelson. Easy carom, and here comes Bell and company. Both teams struggling, 1 for 4, both clubs.
For UNLV, it's not unusual that they shoot the ball poorly. It's not a team that has a high percentage shooting-wise. What they're good at, though, is hitting the offensive boards. Not many of those here in the game because New Mexico's doing a terrific job of boxing out. It's one and done for UNLV the last couple of trips down.
That's a great call, partner, because Torrance just bodied Smith right out of any chance for an offensive rebound, and we know Jamie loves to hit the offensive boards. That's why Torrance, Defensive Player of the Year. Scrum for the ball, fresh 30 for the Lobos, and again, a 3-2 count. New Mexico with the lead on the opening triple from Nikki Nelson.
Again, neither of these teams very polished at the offensive end. Points come at a premium. Durbin is somebody that really needs to get going.
On cue, good call. I like Durbin's look so far. She finally finds the bottom of the net, and she can score in bunches. New Mexico up 5-2. Bell kicks it. Smith using the off arm. Thompson rarely passes up a shot. Nice check by Torrance. She's got a ton of blocks.
A push off right there by Jamie Smith.
So an early New Mexico lead, but I said it's early. Come on back for the rest of this first half. Lady Rebels trying to figure out how to score. They trail early in this game. Quarterfinal action to New Mexico. 5-2 is the count. Hey, the keys to the game are brought to you by Ram Trucks, Guts, Glory, Ram. Andrea.
For New Mexico, we've already talked about it. They need to be hot shots, well, or hot shooters in this case, and mostly Caroline Durbin. They need to knock some shots down from the perimeter. Box out. We've seen this the first couple of possessions. They have done a great job of keeping UNLV to one and done. For UNLV, those big bodies at the guard position and at the forward position need to own the paint. Not something they always do, but they're capable of and create offense from defense. I'll tell you what, New Mexico has struggled with turnovers when they have played against UNLV, and they need to create and use those turnovers for points off turnovers.
You know, you look at this UNLV club, and there's Porche Torrance, Defensive Player of the Year. You've got some veterans for both of these clubs. Is there a bit of nerves when you talk about your first action in the conference tournament?
I don't know if there's nerves so much. I think both of these teams, you know, they have players that have been around. They've been to the conference tournament. I think the bigger problem is that they're not that skilled at the offensive end, so it's a force sometimes. Right now, you see New Mexico struggling in their offense. They struggle when they have good defense against them, and they don't even get good shots. On the flip side, UNLV is not a good shooting team, but since New Mexico's boxing out, they're not capable of doing what they do best, which is hitting the offensive boards.
And you know, you expect UNLV to ratchet that up. All right, Lauren Taylor into the New Mexico lineup, as is Jamie Jackson. So Yvonne Sanchez going to her bench. UNLV with one field goal, and that seemed like it happened forever ago.
And for New Mexico, they wanted to start with a bigger lineup to match the UNLV lineup so that they could compete in the paint. I think right now, though, getting some people in that maybe have a little more scoring punch, Jamie Jackson, Lauren Taylor, who's missed a few games because of a neck injury, has been hobbled because of knee problems this year. She's a capable scorer, and guess what? When you have an injury, guess what is good about that? You get rest, and she needed rest desperately the last few weeks.
I like you silver lining that cloud. No, I really do as Durbin checks back in. because once the dog days of the conference play starts, you don't get any rest. So good, we've got a fresh body or two. I guess that's the way to look at it. And you know that's what Sanchez is telling her kids.
And in Lauren Taylor's case, she's been so fragile this year out there on the floor.
Sanford gets the kind bounce. I like it when that body goes to the rim.
Yeah, and instead of relying on just an outside shot, UNLV after that timeout comes out, goes to the paint. Good decision.
Ends a 5-minute drought.